My name's Tom Slovenia. I'm past president of Winchester Historical Society. I am still on the board as chair of the grounds committee and membership committee, and want to thank all the people who are members that are here tonight. And if you're not a member, I would invite you and to be have consideration of becoming a member and see Electric Galvani tonight after the meeting. Tonight we are privileged to have Allan and Eyden talk about the history of the Town Day of Winchester Town Day. Allan is a founding member of the Winchester Town Day. Besides having a full-time job, Allan is a volunteer in the Pan Massachusetts Challenge as head staff and road coordinator. He's a WinCam committee board member and is a commentator on the Winchester local TV station. Allan is also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. So please welcome Allan Eyden.
So this is a labor club Town Day. But when Hilda reached out to me probably almost a year ago about doing this, like, but then I said, I go down to the basement, I have stuff units full of Town Day stuff. I said, stuff needs to be sorted out and cataloged and everything like that. So this was the excuse to do it. So it's been fun. I mean, it's certainly been a trip down memory lane. I told somebody it was 1974 it started. And I said, I'm going to go year by year by year. And somebody said, my eyes are glazing over. So I'm not going to go year by year. But obviously, years, Linda just asked me what year this was. I don't know. It's just a generic picture. Yeah. So let's see. There we go. So we have to go back to the early 70s. And the JCs, we got a JC chapter here in town. I'm not sure if the JC still exists. I did find this new logo down there. This was the logo at the time. But we had a chapter in the 60s and 70s. And the JCs, if you know, stood for Junior Chamber of Commerce. And men from 18 to 35 could join the JCs. And that was a fraternal organizations for doing projects and things like that. And only men could do it because they were JCS. Sign of the times. Which after a few years became the JC Win. Or JCS. But so we had a pretty active chapter here in town with some notable names, some of whom are here tonight. But you probably remember this. Yeah. These haunted houses. Yes. And as we talk about it, the kind of things that went on in the haunted house would probably just rest in there. So, but it was a different time. But we were one of the first haunted houses, and if you remember that, we would gridlock traffic on the South Border Road, and I looked at the total, we would put these 1,000 people through. But that was our big fundraiser. Then we go and do community projects. So you can see there's a couple of the creative posters for it. It eventually ended up at the Wedge Pond House after the Girl Scout cabin burned down. I have my own opinions on that, which I can't, which I will keep to myself. But there's some memorable scenes from the haunted house and some of the characters that were there. So at some point, the JCs decided that we should have a town day or a program like that. So this came out in 1974, a prospectus for Town Day, which has some interesting things in it. Take stock in Winchester, your interest will pay big dividends, June 9th. But I like some of the suggestions here that, band concert, town mural, square dancing, balloons. And if you get down towards the bottom, you see one item called free cigars. Again, you wonder what we were thinking, but antique car show. I mean, a lot of them were great things, and some of the things came about. Like we had 1 year we had boat rides on the mill pond, which had mixed results because you get people got in the rowboat and it became obvious they didn't know how to row. So you'd have to send another boat out to rescue. But this was, again, prospectus by the Winchester JCs. So this was 1974, and the editorial in the Star. And there's, again, some of the quotes. Sunday is Winchester's, for the first time in Winchester's history, an event being held specifically for the purpose of getting all Winchester's diverse populations together in a single celebration. The Winchester JCs have recognized the need for neighbor to meet neighbor in our community. Town Day will give us all a chance to meet each other if we wish, and maybe we'll find out we have a lot more common with the rest of us, he quotes. So there was the whole, the Star, back when we had a newspaper here in town. I mean, we do have the Winchester News, which, if you follow it, it's very good. They do a great job. So there's Winchester Star, 1974. And I also have to say, I was going through my records and sorting them. I could go back to 75, and I had nothing for 74. And I said, have we been telling everybody all these years that it was 74 and it was actually 75? But fortunately, these came out, the Winchester Public Library has the stars online. So we did actually have it in 74. I didn't have any records of it, but this came out of that. So it was different, brunch goes out down at 11, balloons up at 5. So it was a Sunday too. And a lot of groups, you look through here, Winchester Trails, Winchester Art Association, flag demonstrations. I mean, a lot of groups got involved. It was a big event. Boy Scout exhibit, town mural. So that's 1974. So this was the town day committee, and the JC. Well, now it's the Winchester Town Day 75 committee, this is in February of 1975, and we're inviting people in. The people are going to do another one of these. So we invited you here today to share ideas on how to make Town Day 75 a more successful and memorable community experience. The only guidelines to consider are the day should be a fun experience for all who attend, that the cost of town people should be kept to a minimum, that fundraising or profiteering should be prohibited, and that activities, whether spiritual, educational, or recreational, should represent and appeal to the highest standards of quality that Winchester can achieve. And again, this is a brainstorming session from February 9th. So again, the JC is reaching out to the town for ideas. And we did have it. This came back in 75. The interesting over on the right was Town Night. So it was the first time we had a night before Town Day. But again, you can't read them all, but just tons and tons of organizations and groups and everything getting involved in it. Now I come to 76, and there are some familiar names there. Athletics by Albie McDonald.
Yeah.
Perfect. If you want to make a note of his phone number. Carolyn Ward was the secretary, even though she was also the town clerk. Ron Hertel. Dave Pywell there.
You did refresh, and you?
Oh God, yes. We had a chuck wagon and a barbecue. So people remember the chuck wagon, the JC. That was one of the JC projects, the chuck wagon, which started to fall apart. Then we rebuilt. I think we rebuilt it like 2 or 3 times.
That's cool.
But in the chuck wagon, and had a barbecue. Yep.
Oh, it's truly cool.
So same thing. Now Town Day 77 is endangered. Same thing. People are going to step forward to do it. It takes a lot of work. And this was the editorial in the Star, and then also a letter from us like, hey, is everybody going to step forward for Town Day 77? Unfortunately, they didn't. So 76 was the last one. Now we fast forward to 82.
Thank it's a lot.
Nobody I know is in that picture.
Oh, yes.
Down day planners. I'm just trying to see what we have for.
Like the Dallas.
Thank you. Do I look respectable? I was the president of the JCs that year.
No.
Let's see. Bruce Brown was the chairman of Town Days, and Scott Henderson was the vice. Scott, if you remember Henderson Stationers. Yeah. So there's Scott, and there's Dick Malcolm, Winchester Limited Jewelers.
And that in
So we all look exactly the same now. So
and then I did it.
see who else. There's some other committee members there, but that was the 70s. So this is 1982, and again, we're looking in March of saying, we're going to revive this. We're going to bring this back. And we did. So there's, some of the activities and things. First time Winchester had fireworks in, I believe,
Onions.
70 years or something like that. And I remember talking to the police chief at the time, who was dead set against it, because he said there'll be motorcycle gangs coming into town to watch the fireworks. So he was not enthusiastic. And then we had other problems like closing off the parkway. The state police got all upset because we didn't ask permission before we closed the parkway. But you see a lot of things, bake contests, art displays. I don't know what the Coke robot was. I may remember that.
It was a picture being.
Evening. Is it evening?
I have a picture of my son, friend, standing around.
The Coke robot?
And yes, I don't know where.
And what was it?
Yeah.
Dressed like a bottle of Coke? Or?
I don't know what I cut.
Okay. I looked at some of these and I don't remember what that was. There's our sponsors, Winchester Savings Bank, Bay Bank, Middlesex. That would go back. Century Publications, The Star, Old Colony Bank. I don't even know where that was.
No.
Winchester Rotary, Winchester JCs, and the Shawmut County Bank. So, and on the right was an application to exhibit Town Day 1982. So, and then the Star, revival the tradition to bring downtown alive. Now, between 76 and 82, the Chamber of Commerce did a couple of times. They did Discover Winchester Day, or Winchester Discovery Day, or something like that. But it wasn't nearly as big. I think it was just a thing about the downtown businesses, so it didn't really break in these groups and everything. So JC's decided it was time to bring this thing back. In 82, we did. So there it is, 1982. Winchester throws a party. See what we got on the schedule, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 70 booths, the fishing derby.
That's something.
People remember that. That was back to the 50s. Art exhibit, redneck revival. What else? Got a bake contest there. Barbershop quartet. Were you in? Historical Society house tour. Didn't have the trolleys yet, but we had a house tour. Auto show, art exhibitions, police exhibit, Italian feast. So there it is. Winchester throws a party. We're back. 1982.
Oh, I sipped cookie.
And back again in 1983. Similar things, 9 a.m. until dark, fireworks. Again, a list of events in 1983.
And Albert.
Here's, again, Town Day 83. Back when we had a paper that you could have a great big spread of these things, ads and spreads, and the Star was very good at publicizing the event. Day-long entertainment bonanza begins at 9. 1984. Disclaimer, this poster is not from 1984. I meant to go back because June 9th was not a Saturday in 84, so it was from an earlier one. I ran out of time to go back in the calendar to figure out which one it was. But again, this is the kind of posters that you see around town. There's a road race, a fun run, the CSA spelling bee. You ought to see puppets, the Cranberry Puppets, mime and clowns, live bands, Interact's annual bake contest, a lot of events, a pie eating contest. We had that for a few years. That was always made for some good pictures. Tug of war, boat rides on the duck pond. I think we wised up on the boat rides and had a qualified person rowing the people around, and not just saying, here's a boat, here's some rows, good luck. And all you can eat barbecue and jazz band and fireworks display. And if you remember Dan Chain's column, Winchester Colonels. So again, he wrote on there, want to have another town day, how about giving them a hand? They could use a little help. It's a common theme. So this I found was the minutes of a post-event meeting. And I think some of these things are priceless here about talking about some of the committee members, if I can read a couple. And I was hoping she'd be here, but Kathy Alexander. Kathy wants everybody to know that the chamber doesn't have a lot of money. She works hard and is grossly underpaid. We wouldn't put her air conditioner in for her. The school committee spends too much money, and it ain't easy being smart and beautiful. Life's a bitch, huh? And again, things are a little looser then, so treasurer, this is Bob Deering. Bob thinks we either made or lost money this year, depending on whether we sold 150 or 295 barbecue tickets. As to whether or not we collect all the receipts and pay all our bills, that is, if Diana, his wife, doesn't take the deposit money, fly to Mexico, and leave him with the kids. The good news is that our books don't get audited. Ralph Johnson was in charge of T-shirts. We have offered Ralph a lifetime contract as purveyor of all T-shirts. All we have to do is teach him to use a laundry pen to change the sizes on the tags, so there won't be any leftovers next year. Truth in advertising, I always say, just like Mahoney's. I could not include that. So anyway, a little bit irreverent, but you can tell it was a fun group. It was a lot of fun to put this together. We go 86, 87 again, the poster and just listing the events. I mean, it got very busy, and as it still is, but a lot of events, a lot of music. So we are. What's that?
Being 30th, 87.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure when we decided to firm it up as the first Saturday of June. 1989, the Star had a whole pull-out section, and you can't read it, but the guy getting dunked there is Jake Charger, our former town engineer. But again, what fun it is. And like I said, this was a whole pull-out section at the Star. History, look back, town day events.
And then
Go to 1991, the Jumelage. The Jumelage year, and the Jumelage shirt is right over there.
that's another out.
We all remember. A jour de ville, 90 bucks. What's French for 91? Anybody know? All right, anyways. That was the Jumelage, celebrating I think we had just established it. Norm, you probably know, right?
They run.
Yeah, so we had the T-shirt there.
Go.
I could not include that. Even if your name's spelled wrong, too. Oh, I thought there were two P's in it. Oh, okay. Anyway.
That's when I was a popular school committee person. I spent a lot of time in the dump.
There were a lot of people lined up to dunk her. Connie is the co-chair, my co-chair for Town Day, so I couldn't not include that. You look like you're having fun, though. Was it a hot day, I hope?
But it's fun.
Oh, yeah. You look like you're enjoying it.
Me to do it.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, of course I'll.
You look like you're having a lot of fun. June 91. So again, in the 90s, so this was good. I'd forgotten about this. The celebrity auction. And John Sullivan was the auctioneer. Look at the names here. Helen Babcock.
Oh, yeah.
Can't quite read that. Ann Blackham. Yeah. Dan Chase. Charlie Doe. Me. Everybody got a different thing. So, you know, it was a week in a house and something like that. Filippo Franroli. Mike Lynch. Yep.
Yeah.
Eugene Olivier. You say? Which
No, he was here to
Yes, right. Awesome. Start. Mike Lynch, Paul Mahoney, Chad Moore, our town manager. Irony South was the Unitarian Church minister. Ron Yates. A lot of familiar names. Camp Healy.
Yeah.
Harry Sinton, I think, is there. Yeah, Harry Sinton. Judy Uja. So that was a fun event. And again, there's a, you know, the 90s, there's the typical crowd. And then, of course, I have to make fun of myself because this is the Brain Trust. Down day coordinators, Ralph Johnson, Mary Johnson, they all that played it out there. So, the Brain Trust, or no. 1989, the trolley tours. You'll see some familiar names there for the Historic Society. 91 was the first year we went on the World Wide Web. Townday.org. So we actually had a website. And we had a couple of years where the Griffin Center bought these, you know, little cheap one-shot cameras and sent the kids out and said, you know, they had an exhibit.
Yep.
For all the pictures. Let the kids just go nuts and take pictures of town. That was a lot of fun. I think they did it for 2 years, maybe 3.
Yep. Yeah, after the wedding.
Yeah. Now, 2006, we lost one of our founding members, Dave Pywell. I think a lot of people here remember Joanna's here and his daughter's here. So Dave was the driving force behind both the JCs and Town Day, and I'm not sure if we would have had either of them. He was a lot of fun. He was actually crazy, as we know. I'm going to read what my letter was in the Star. In the early 70s, when a community-minded group called the Winchester JCs decided to raise funds with one of our first haunted houses up on South Border Road, entertaining thousands every year, Dave was there. The same group decided that Winchester needed a low-cost community celebration for all residents. Created the first Town Day in the mid-70s, Dave was there. When that event was revived in the early 80s and became a town tradition, Dave was there. For so many organizations, causes, and people in Winchester, Dave was always there. You only had to ride with Dave Ethan Waits Pywell, his pickup truck, to wonder if there was anybody in town that didn't know him. Our town is so much better for Dave Pywell's presence, and now poorer for us losing him far too soon. Condolences to the Pywell family.
So
We had us here. I'm curious. Yeah, so thank you for letting us have and there's a bench. You know, we dedicated a bench down at the falls that still has his name on it. So typical. Look at that. Yeah. So that was the 25th anniversary. So that was a little bittersweet that year. So now, 2007, 2009, 2007 was the first year we offered a chance for kids to push the button to do the fireworks. And they love that. And they get to push the button and start the whole celebration. And then Strawberry Festival and Classic, Tom and I were just talking about that. Classic Car Show and Strawberry Festival up here at the Sanborn House. And 2009 was the first year we started doing the program booklets, which gives people a chance to promote their event. We hand out the booklets and, it says, come to the so-and-so booth and get whatever, free chocolate or whatever. Now we're up to the 30th annual Town Day in 2011. That was a rain date. We only had we've only had two. Yeah, I know. It's just the facts. Just the facts. We've only postponed Town Day twice, in almost 40 years. Yeah. So I haven't jinxed this year. But we lose a lot when it moves to the next day because a lot of people have other commitments and everything like that. So, but our rain date is Sunday rather, and we did that year. I forget what other year we did it, but 2006 the first year. God, you could have better memory than I do. Here's another tradition that ended in 2012 was the barbecue. Now, over the years, we'd had community suppers. We had suppers behind the town hall, and then, which I always thought was great. People could gather down. We kept it really expensive. We subsidized the food on it, so $10 and $5. And you sat down there. You had a community supper. Sat out on the lawn, and the high school bands and everything would play. Yeah. The sun goes down. You're watching over the mill pond and the fireworks. So what a way to spend an evening. The problem is the committee's small, and some of us, like Mike, start at 4 o'clock in the morning, and by 4 or 5 o'clock at night, there's no energy left to put on a dinner. What I would hope, if anybody knows of anybody, that we can find a group like the Rotary. The Rotary does a pancake breakfast every year, but
we
just have it in town. I know. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But the thing is, Town Day Committee doesn't have to put it on. It just it happens. So we'd like to find some group that, even as a fundraiser, would do the dinner, that come in the afternoon and do this. So anyway, but there was the kind of thing. We learned a few things over the years. We had a couple of clam bakes with lobsters and clams. It's very popular. But what we didn't take into consideration was there was a lot of trash. The town didn't collect it until Monday. So lobsters and clams in the trash cooking for 2 days. It was pretty nasty. So it was a lot easier to go. The best year, I think, was the year the Whole Foods came into town, and they gave us all the food. As soon as people heard Whole Foods, oh yeah. And it was the same thing, $10 and $5. So we'd like to revive that. This is the 2005 menu, but 2012 is the last year of that. So 2015, so we went online registration. We have our webmaster is here. If you'd like to raise your hand. But now, you can register online. We don't have online payment, and the reason for that is that a lot of people will register as a company, but they'll pay personally, and it gets very confusing if you get somebody that registers, Jane Doe, and I'm registering for the ABC project or something. So we don't have that yet. We may occasionally I get people who want to go by PayPal, and we will let them do that. But this is on Town Day. If you go to the website, you'll see an interactive map here, and those green dots represent booths. And if you mouse over, you see who's in those booths. So that was a big step forward. So that's 9 years ago. 10 years ago. Then we lost another one of our dear friends in 2021. Laura was my co-chair. And again, look at the things now. Another Dave Pye was just known all over town, involved in everything. And so we miss her. Jeff. Yeah. That's her. And I'm going to kind of wrap it up with just some pictures over the years. There's our trolleys. There's a site from the railroad bridge. There's our Glenn Doyle. If you've gone to the dog show, which is always a huge hit, he's back. The lower right is the Friday night block party, which becomes very popular. The kids love that. Again, another street scene up on the upper right. And of course, we have the petting zoo. And here's what we would have in the evenings. The whole lawn back in the library, full of people. The three high school bands would play. Of course, you got to throw in a cute and, you know, different, just a sample of some of the exhibits, you know, Winchester Youth Hockey. And then keeping with our tradition of cute pictures.
That's
That's probably what you looked like on Monday, wasn't it? Weren't you looking at the exhibit? That's Linda. But again, you know, there's. I had to put that in there. There's the Whole Foods. The year Whole Foods was serving our dinner, and then you know, out on Sandy's Island and everything. You know, what a way to end up looking at a perfect day, and then there's nighttime. You know, spotlights on the crowds, and then you end up with fireworks. Dude, you want a framed copy of that? So anyway, just want to talk about the principles have remained the same for Town Day. All the events should be low cost or no cost. I don't think we have anything, you know, unless you want to eat, you know, that can cost you, but everything else is free. You know, the historical trolley tours, the band concerts, we'll have 2 stages again this year. We want to promote the community businesses, the community organizations. We want events for all ages. Like I say, if you go to the block party on Friday night, I mean, it's just so cute. The kids are out dancing and, you know, to the music in front of the fire station. We finance it through sponsors and through exhibitor fees. If we have surplus, some of the years we have surpluses, we don't call it a profit, we call it a surplus. But we've donated to a lot of, our intention is to donate to center-oriented projects. We helped finance the lights for Manchester Field. We bought a trash compactor. We helped buy a rowboat for the fire department. And we made a substantial contribution to the Salt March patio in there. So, you know, that's if anybody wants to know where the money goes, that's where it goes. Last year was very tight because we lost our tent vendor and we ended up buying 75 tents for like $200 a piece. But that's an investment in the future, so we don't have to rent them anymore. I gotta say we have a great relationship with the town government. They're so supportive. The fire department vacates the fire station for, you know, the evening and for the day. The police are down there, no charge to help. The DPW is fabulous. The DPW comes down after 4 o'clock with a street sweeper, collects the trash. The Boy Scouts every year are wonderful because they come down, they collect the trash during the day, and the DPW comes down with a dump truck to get rid of that. We also, the past 3 years, we lost our vendor first who would come in and set up the tables and chairs, everything. So I had the idea that the high school sports teams are always looking to raise money, bake sales and car washes. So the last 2 years, and again this year, we have the track and field team. The kids come down at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they unload the tents and set them, unfold them. The DPW actually nails them down because they have ram sets, and we don't want the kids using things that have gunpowder in it. But, you know, the support of the town is just incredible, and that's really one of the keys to making this a successful event. So. And we want to celebrate our community. That's what we're doing. That's the purpose. And that's it. Any questions?
We'll see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 comments on that brief question. I remember one of the years it was rained out on Saturday. It was much less on Sunday, but what was left of the community dinner was actually in the firehouse.
Ah, yes.
Brought cans up from Lucia's.
That's right.
It's really pretty neat because it was a totally different that.
Yes. Yeah. Again, you know, the support of the community, you know, the fire department letting us use the firehouse and vacate and move all the equipment out back. No.
The other thing was you didn't mention, but at some point should be mentioned that the pandemic kind of knocked a hole in it,
but then it came back, and there was, I think, a fall town day.
The mini, our mini town day.
And it was been the first time it was a community-wide meeting in any month.
Yeah.
And surprisingly good day of weather, and just an enormous number of people came out, even though we were sad at the end of it. And there was a sense of community.
Well, and now the chamber has adopted that as Spirit Weekend. So, now we have Town Day just before people leave for the summer, and Spirit Weekend downtown where the chamber puts them on for people coming back.
The other, which is a question, which is, have you thought about, the community meal in some way? I remember the last such example of it was many years ago. Boston used to have citywide beach suppers.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually provided me for 1 year, and there were like 4,500 people on Boston Common in a bean supper, and it was pretty neat.
I think we actually had a bean supper one year. Yeah.
Because the bean supper was really kind of a tradition at a bit.
Yeah.
And, have you thought about perhaps focusing as a bean supper, because that was a tradition that
Again, the bean supper was good because it was low maintenance. I mean, it was beans and bread and easy to put together. But I said our goal is we'd love to find a group that would just do that in the evening, that would come in the afternoon and put that on. And we don't have the stage, but we've been a little upward, obviously, the past couple of years by not having Laraway Road. So hopefully next year we'll be back there and out of the Jenks lot. But we also had complaints that when we had the stage behind the town hall, that only the people, like if the fine art dance school was there, only their parents would be there. So we need to find a way to get people back there. But I'd love to see the evening concerts and everything back there. Again, everything gets more difficult. The high school says they have to rent a truck to bring the stuff over, so we have to pay for the truck. So logistics.
Yeah.
So
Just one story.
sure.
Myself from Winchester. It was so many things you could mention. That was a fabulous presentation. That took us down memory lane.
Yes.
It's a glimpse of what all of them. Like, just because I'm reminded, and I think it's worth mentioning, Peter Jorgensen owned the Winchester Star in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Peter had a very unusual hobby. He used to like to shoot cannons. He said he was culture in life for shooting cannons. And we got some unusual hobbies people in the world. But so Larry Tobias and the Norbert, who kind of said to the fireworks, big size, they like to shoot cannons. So they would go up, and Peter became very close with Larry and Richard, And so Peter was fascinated with all the stuff this group did. And that's why that's why such good publicity in the Winchester Star, right? There was a close relationship there for those years. It really paid off.
Yeah.
And I can tell a fireworks story because remember Dick Norberg. This is back when the rules around fireworks were much looser. Don't be able to license rules. But he would set up the fireworks in there, and then the fireworks, if you remember how they were cardboard tubes, and they have a launch, and then the fireworks. So they have a firework down here that shoots it up, and then firework explodes. And he would say, "Oh, come on down, come on." So I'd be down. I remember being down on the field one year, and they'd light it with a torch, and this thing went off like a Roman candle. I'm like, that doesn't look like it should be going like that. And the thing exploded. It put the thing in the wrong way. And it blew up, and I remember eating the dirt. Next year, Dick says, "Come on down, you want to see us?" I said, "No, thank you. I'm going to stay way back here in the park where it's safer." But, oh my God, yes, again, so a lot looser back then. But it was fun. I mean, I can tell I'll tell another Dave Pywell story. It was because Mike Sarabian used to ride. Dave would ride around in his pickup truck doing setups. Mike Sarabian would be in the back. Mike was 16 or 17 at the time, and they would have to stop every hour for a beer break. And that included the 17-year-old Mike Sarabian in the back. Come on, we're going to take a break here. I ride the town hall. Here, have one.
Yeah, I didn't know that man.
You didn't know he did things like that? You thought he was very straight-laced, didn't you?
Okay, no, but I just remember it was either 82 or 83. Somebody allowed him to have a megaphone in his hand. And he followed me around,
Oh,
just talking to me.
through the megaphone.
Best friend's name, and she was like, I know Geisher's father, but I'm gonna take that. And and she lived on the other side of town. You know, my mom, everyone was this could drive us home.
Yeah.
Gotta get out of here because.
Mortified.
Well, what are you doing? Waiting for the earth to open up.
And swallow you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you walk, there's a road there in downtown Winchester. He freaked out. I kind of never wanted to go back to town date again, but I never wanted to go down again, but I did help him when my husband was studying. He was taking the CFA exam, so I didn't have anything to do, and he's like, "Yo, come and help me," and help, and so it was fine. It was like 19, I think it was 94.
I can talk about the things he did at Haunted House, but I don't want to besmirch his memory.
Oh no, I remember.
Again, things get like taking teenage girls and throwing them over the shoulder and running and dumping them in the woods. Things like that. Things we get arrested for now.
Yeah, it scared that. Yeah, that's something about.
And I'm sure he would love us telling the stories to us.
You make a content tonight.
Yes. He'll be jumping to me today. Any other questions? Hopefully brought back a lot of memories. Yes.
Move forward. What's isn't this year's town day the last first
Yes.
Saturday in June?
June 1st. So the block party will be May 31st. But yes.
Memorial Day.
No, it's the weekend before is Memorial Day.
Oh,
We sandwich very nicely. Enca Fair. Next week is Memorial Day.
Right.
Next weekend is Town Day. So Enca Fair is a great thing, but a little expensive, I think, if you're a parent.
That's not bad.
So we like to bookend it with free. So we are still looking for some sponsors for the events, namely the historic trolley
yes.
sponsors dropped it. So we're so if anybody knows of a company or a bank or anybody that wants to sponsor those trolleys, we're going to have the trolleys. We're going to dip into our pocketbook to get them because that's again, I think 1991 was the first year we started doing the trolleys. So that's 33-year tradition. So, and they always sell out, although they're free. So.
Yes.
Well, it's important that we have the trolleys for the Strawberry Festival coming after the Sandbox.
Are you going to have a strawberry festival?
All up now.
Are you going to have a strawberry festival?
We can't have one because the trolleys were bringing the people here. And now that we didn't have the trolleys to bring the people.
Well, you're going to have the trolleys.
Yeah.
The trolleys. What about here?
We just know that at the point in time.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Pull together.
yeah. The trolley. We're having trolleys. They're all reserved. They are coming, whether we have a sponsor or not.
No.
We're having trolleys.
And I do want to shout out to Lori Benetti. I see you hiding there. She is the powerhouse behind us getting those tours done again and again. And of course, she's sitting next to Carol, and they are a dynamic duo. So thank you both.
Now, Lori gets very nervous at the food not having trolleys. Are we going to have trolleys? We lost a sponsor. We're going to have trolleys?
Yes.
Yes, Lori. We're having trolleys.
Like, I'm going to just post.
2,500.
So, but what's that phenomenon?
That's right. Did you bring a checkbook?
You can also start a GoFundMe page.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things we could do. We have 2 stages to sponsor. We have some regular sponsors too, and the cooperative is, as far as we know, still sponsoring the petting zoo, which is a usually popular event. But spread the word.
Best intelligence.
Yeah, how to play on a spring. Yeah. And are you looking for volunteers?
Yeah, if anybody wants to volunteer, name and number.
We have a notebook.
Yep.
It's not that hard, really. Yeah. Especially the fun.
All right.
I was sitting in the information booth for a shift.
There you go. All sorts. Yeah, and you get the young athletes to come do the heavy lifting, bring the tables over, and then
Most old folks just sit back and wait.
yes, yeah, which I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I did want to thank you so much, not only for coming and sharing these wonderful memories, but for all that you do. And for you yourself are showing, and I love the young pictures of Allan. It's been a few years, and you step up again and again and help make memories that everyone can treasure for years and years. And that feeling of like happy memories, hopefully, of Town Day is something that you carry forth your whole life and want to revisit. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.